Chapter 11. After healing and preparing themselves for the fight, Lucky and Artemis readied themselves to fight. The Satawadamarra gamer saw an opportunity to add both of them to his party, knowing that their combined skills would be invaluable in their quest. "Hey, guys, would you like to join my party?" he asked. "Sure, we'd be happy to help you out," Lucky replied, grinning. "Count me in too," Artemis chimed in. When the pop-up window asking if the two girls wanted to join the party appeared, both of them acknowledged. The rough and scaly Anakim charged toward Alexis, and the ground trembled under its powerful footsteps. The sound of the tree branch being swung through the air echoed throughout the forest as the club narrowly missed the Holy Knight's head. The putrid smell of the Anakim's breath filled the air, making it hard for the gamers to focus. Artemis activated her skills, which had somewhat petrified both Anakims. Lucky seized the opportunity and darted forward with her Chris dagger, striking the wounded leg of the scaly Anakim with deadly precision. The sound of the poison sizzling on its flesh mixed with the creature's pained cries. Alexis' light dome skill glowed brightly, blinding the remaining Anakim and preventing it from intervening. Lucky's dagger flashed in the air as she continued her relentless attack on the wounded leg, while Artemis' spell continued to disorient the other Anakim. The injured Anakim's HP slowly decreased as Lucky's poisoned blade drained its life force away. The trapped Anakim let out a roar of pain and fury as Lucky's poison seeped deeper into its wound. It thrashed around in the dome, trying to break free, but Alexis's activated skills held strong. The other Anakim was able to gain back its senses. Artemis could no longer use her skill to stun and disorient. She tried using attraction, but the Anakim was too high level for her skill to take effect. The Anakim saw its comrade at the dome and tried to rush towards it. The dome of light that acted as a barrier is not just separate the two Anakims, it also damages those who come in contact with it. The Anakim with the mottled shade of green and brown skin continues to bang its fist to the dome. Its HP slightly decreases during the impact. Inside the light dome, the other Anakim kicked Lucky and tried to cover its wounded leg. It appeared to weaken, probably because it was poisoned. Alexis stepped forward to meet the creature head-on, brandishing his sword. The Anakim swung its massive arms, but the Satawadamarra expertly dodged and struck back, dealing critical damage. Lucky took advantage of the opening, darting in and out with lightning-fast strikes from her Chris dagger. She aimed for the Anakim's eyes, hoping to blind it and weaken its attacks further. Artemis hung back, trying to activate a skill to support her comrades. The Anakim thrashed and roared, its HP rapidly decreasing under the party's coordinated attacks. Then with a final blow from Alexis's sword, the Anakim fell to the ground, and its HP turned to 0. You have successfully defeated an Anakim. You have leveled up. Watching the other Anakim fall to the ground, the other one was not deterred. It lunged at the dome with all its might, and with a resounding crash, the dome shattered into a million pieces. Lucky and Alexis quickly moved to the side, avoiding the flying debris. With the dome gone, the party of gamers stood face to face with the enraged Anakim. Its eyes burned red with fury as it let out a deafening roar, charging towards them with the weapon the fallen one used earlier. But Alexis and Lucky were able to get away. The Anakim growled in frustration, unable to hit the agile gamers. With a quick glance at its fallen comrade, it let out a menacing roar and charged toward the party once more, its eyes blazing with fury. Alexis readied his sword, his heart racing with excitement. Lucky dashed towards the creature, using her swift movements to dodge its attacks and delivering deadly strikes with her poisoned blades. Artemis Ha starting to activate a skill that is once activated can cause disorientation. But the Anakim was a powerful foe, and its brute strength was evident in each of its blows. The party members had to dodge, parry, and weave through each attack, and their HP dwindled as the battle dragged on. Despite this, they continued to fight, determined to emerge victorious. However, just as they had the second Anakim on the ropes, it let out a blood-curdling howl and ripped off the head of its fallen comrade, and fled the scene, leaving the party members reeling in shock and disappointment. "Oh no! My precious ingredient is gone!" Artemis Ha wailed in disbelief. She was annoyed because they needed the teeth of the Anakim. They were finally able to defeat one, but it was stolen away from them. The teeth of a tower among men were the first one written on the Vita scroll that Kabuhayan has given her. "You need the Anakim's teeth for a quest?" Alexis asked, amused. "Well, technically I need it to make my artwork a companion," Artemis said. She explained her previous quest to Alexis. "Artemis Ha, since the Anakims are really strong enemies, can you make an artwork that can boost our skills so we can fight them?" Lucky suggested. Alexis told them that his NPC companions told him that the Anakim is weak against the blessed items that may be from Kagyuhan, since it is his disciples that were given the official quest of defeating the Anakims. Artemis Ha nodded and, using the remaining wood from her inventory, started to activate her subclass skill for sculpting. She taught herself what symbol she can do for the deity of war like Kagyuhan. She mumbles to herself that the artwork is to increase their protection from the giants. She clapped her hands together and started working on the idea in her mind. After some time she was able to finish the artwork. Artwork name: Shield of Kagyuhan Artisan, Artemis Ha, Bihani. No guild. Artwork details: a massive, blessed shield that is believed to take the blows of any giant monsters and weaken it through a magical curse. Artwork effects: for 24 hours, gamers will see the shield will take 30% less damage from giant monsters. Also, gamers will earn an additional 10% increase in the attack against giant monsters. Artemis Ha made a huge shield sculpture. It had a bird-like design because she remembered one of the priests of Kagyuhan at Kingdom Apate that had commissioned her to create a sculpture of a bird for his staff. "I should have created this beforehand," Artemis Ha said out loud. Alexis was amazed not only by the details of the sculpture but also by the effects of the artwork. "You may be high-level to create something like this." Artemis Ha blushed in embarrassment. "Well, I was able to master the sculptor and artisan subclasses." "Mastered, as in you got a 100 for both subclasses?" Alexis said in amazement. This further makes the artisan embarrassed. "Yes, I did. To be honest, I enjoyed creating artwork more than increasing my level." It was the first time Lucky heard about these things. She had been traveling with Artemis Ha and she did not even know that she had befriended an artisan that can be a goose that will lay golden eggs in the future. I met a gamer before that had chosen the sculptor subclass. He could not name his artwork yet. He said it is hard to level up the subclass and he is considering changing it. "Wow, you are skilled. Being able to create an artwork that you can name can be classified as legendary and can be sold as NFTs." Alexis looked at Artemis Ha. "I should commission artwork from you to assist my sub-quests for Kagyuhan." The happy chatting of the gamers was suddenly stopped by Hoju, the NPC companion of Alexis. Some of the Canaan tribe warriors reported that they saw 3 Anakim coming this way. The one who fled called 2 others to avenge the fallen one. Lucky remembered the first Anakim that they fought with and the third reinforcement that looked to be the strongest, probably the leader of the Anakims. We need to be careful, the one coming here is probably the boss type of the Anakims. The one with the solid rock obsidian body is not only intimidating in size but could also be feared due to its speed. I saw how it runs, it is almost graceful. The other two listened to her attentively. Lucky continued, I recalled reading somewhere that the boss Anakim tends to focus its attacks on one player at a time, leaving the rest of the party attacking it relatively untouched. We could try using this to our advantage by having one player act as bait, drawing the boss Anakim's attention while the rest of us attack from the sides and behind. We should also be prepared to dodge and block its attacks, as it's likely to be very powerful. And if all else fails, we can try to retreat and come up with a new plan before engaging again. Who will distract it then? Artemis Ha asked. Alexis raised his hands. That would be me since I am the one who had a higher defense and HP compared to the two of you. Lucky nodded in agreement, correct. As a hand taker, my class has the highest attack damage skills, but my defense is weak. Same as you Artemis Ha, you have a weak defense, and no offense, your class has no real attack skills. The only way you can fight is to use your attraction skill on one of the weaker Anakims and use it to attack the boss. Lucky pointed at the NPCs, they are a huge army, but can we use them in this battle? I did not see them fighting against the Anakims we fought earlier. Well, they are NPCs. They fight whenever they need to. But if we enter the boss fight, I think they can help in attacking the non-boss Anakim. Even though this is like entering a different world, we are still in a role-playing game, and there are rules. During a boss fight, the party will be given a chance to only fight the boss, unless fighting the subordinate is part of the story. However, since these giants are strong, I doubt that it will be the case. Alexis explained. After formulating their attack plan, the party braced themselves for the imminent boss fight. The boost provided by the powerful artwork Artemis Ha created earlier would undoubtedly give them an advantage in the impending battle. With weapons at the ready and minds focused, they awaited the arrival of the formidable foe. The changes in the settings indicated the impending boss fight. It was as if there was a mild earthquake, but they knew it was just the footsteps of the Anakim approaching. While waiting, the dampness of the forest floor became more pronounced, causing the air to feel heavy and oppressive. The sound of dripping water from the leaves of the trees echoed through the forest, adding to the eerie ambience of the setting. The smell of damp earth and mildew filled their nostrils, making Lucky feel like she was standing in the midst of a swamp. He tightened her grip on her dagger, feeling the reassuring weight of it in her hand. Artemis Ha took a deep breath and focused on the task at hand. Alexis also prepares himself. As the Anakim appeared before them, Lucky's eyes widened at the sight of the Anakim. It was larger than she had remembered, with a solid rock obsidian body that gleamed in the sunlight. The sight of the massive creature made Artemis Ha's heart race, but she forced herself to remain calm and focused. Alexis started activating one of his skills. The boss Anakim roared, sending vibrations throughout the area that made the ground tremble beneath their feet. The sound was so loud that it seemed to reverberate in Gamer's chest, causing them to take a step back. Artemis Ha noticed that Alexis activated his light dome, ready to deflect any incoming attacks. It is good since they could feel the heat of the Anakim's body pulsating toward their location. The heat was intense, almost suffocating, making it harder to focus. As the water dropped, Alexis charged forward, slashing at the Anakim with his sword. The sound of the blade cutting through the air was accompanied by the Anakim's angry snarls. The clash of metal against obsidian rock filled the area, causing Alexis' ears to ring. Despite the noise and chaos of the battle, Lucky remained focused. She could feel the vibrations of the Anakim's movements through the ground, making it easier for her to anticipate its attacks. The taste of adrenaline was strong in her mouth, but she pushed past it, relying on her skills to guide her through the fight. Artemis Ha's eyes darted back and forth, taking in every detail of the chaotic battle unfolding before her. She watched as Alexis deftly dodged the massive Anakim's attacks, taunting it and keeping its attention focused solely on him. He uses his lightning skills to strike the enemy and burn its flesh in the process. Meanwhile, Lucky stealthily made her way around the perimeter, searching for the perfect opportunity to strike. As she scanned the battlefield, Artemis Ha's nose caught a whiff of the acrid smoke and burning flesh emanating from the boss Anakim's body. The stench was overpowering, causing her to wrinkle her nose in disgust. With the boss Anakim occupied, Artemis Ha turned her attention to the weakened Anakim they had fought earlier. She could see that it was still nursing wounds from their previous encounter, but its health bar still displayed a significant amount of HP. It was too risky to let it recover fully and join the fray again. Determined to turn the tide of the battle, Artemis Ha focused her energy and invoked her attraction skill. She felt the power coursing through her staff as she unleashed a dazzling flash of light that struck the Anakims. She held her breath, waiting to see if the charm had worked. To her relief, she saw the two weaker Anakim slowly turning their heads toward her. Their eyes shone with an otherworldly glint as they recognized her as their new master. Artemis Ha couldn't help but feel a shiver of excitement run down her spine as she realized the possibilities these new allies offered. She gestured towards the boss Anakim, and the two charmed Anakims understands her instructions. They rushed towards it, using their powerful fists and teeth to distract it further. The boss Anakim let out a deafening roar as the two weaker Anakim that Artemis Ha had charmed began to bite and claw at him. He swung his massive arms in an attempt to throw them off, but the charmed Anakims persisted, gnawing away at his thick hide. Despite the distraction, Lucky remained focused, watching for an opening to strike. As the boss Anakim struggled with his former allies, Alexis dashed forward with his sword, the blade crackling with the power of lightning. Each time the boss attempted to shake off one of the charmed Anakim, Alexis would deliver a swift blow, his sword singing through the air and striking with deadly precision. Artemis Ha could feel the heat rising from the battle, the scent of burnt skin and singed hair filling her nostrils. She kept her focus, chanting softly as she worked to maintain her charm over the two smaller Anakim. With each passing moment, the boss Anakim grew angrier and more frustrated, lashing out at his attackers with even greater force. But the party remained steadfast, each member working in perfect synchronization to bring down the powerful beast. They could feel the weight of their combined effort, the ground trembling beneath their feet as the boss Anakim roared in fury. Alexis saw the spot where the charmed Anakim bit off. It shows normal-looking flesh, not like the obsidian one on top. This might be the real skin of the Anakim. He focused an attack on the area and let his sword slice through the Anakim's thick hide. "Now," he shouted. Artemis Ha watched in satisfaction as Lucky darted out from the shadows and struck the Anakim from behind, her assassin skills doing significant damage. The battlefield had become a frenzy of sights, sounds, and smells. The clash of steel on rock, the roar of the boss Anakim, the smell of smoke and blood mixing in the air, it was overwhelming. But the gamers were focused and determined to use every tool at their disposal to emerge victorious. /End of chapter 11.